Hello YouTube audience, Bonsai Whisperer here. Today is January the 1st, 2020. So Happy New Year. Um, luckily it is a sunny day in Seattle. In Seattle, if it's winter and it's a sunny day and it's a holiday, it is almost everybody's obligation to go do something outdoor, or it would be misuse of the time. So today I'm in the iconic liberal art quad in the University of Washington. So here we have a lot of great cherry trees. They are Yoshino cherries, which is one of the most popular cherry tree in the world, and all of them are from a single tree. So all of these trees, as well as all the Yoshino cherry in the world, are from a single tree, produced asexually. So their genetic, their genes are completely identical. University of Washington purchased these trees in 1939, and they were originally planted in the Washington Park Arboretum, and in 1962 there was a state route which was in construction, and these cherry trees would need to be moved. Instead of cutting them down, the university decided to move it into the liberal art quad, as you see today. So today these trees are a little bit more than 80 years old, and every year in about mid-March to early April, it's going to blossom, and that is when the quad is really crowded. Almost every day you can see people taking their wedding pictures, and every weekend you can see hundreds, if not thousands, of people here watching cherry blossom. The cherry trees, when they are having the flower buds, the whole quad would look pink, and as they blossom, the cherry blossoms turn white. Imagine all these trees without leaves, and it's all white. So it's very splendid view in the spring. But as I am most interested in the branch structures for developing bonsai, I would like to show you one of the trees in the winter, so that we can just watch the branch structure and study it very carefully. So this tree is one of all of these trees, because they're great age, are really beautiful trees, but specifically for bonsai, I feel that this one is one of the most beautiful trees in the whole place. So of course they are 80 years old, so the trunks are very thick. This doesn't have the thickest trunk, but it's probably about 4 feet wide, the trunk, and it bifurcates at the height about 6 feet, and it become this big branch, primary branch, and it immediately and a smaller branch, and then in the smaller branch immediately bifurcate again and become two smaller secondary branches. And overall it looks like a multi-trunk tree. Looks like a triple trunk tree, but this one, the bigger branch, is still very thick, so it also forms a apex to the top. And all the branches are very zigzag, and it has a very wide base, and if we just walk close to it, we can look at the base more carefully. So the root base, they have very nice surface roots, very wide and full of stability. So from this side, the roots are not the most beautiful because although they are nicely spreading out, but there is this very rounded and big root facing you, so it's not the best place. Overall, the trunk has shown great age. You can see all these bulge. They are because they form because every year you will see a lot of succulents grow from there, and in the summer people who's in charge of these trees is going to cut them off, but overall they would thicken these areas and make these bulge. But it looks it adds character and age to the trunk of the tree, although it's not traditionally viewed as a very beautiful thing in bonsai, but it adds age and character to the tree regardless. So the best root base is actually on the back of the tree. So we're going to look at the other side. The root base is actually better on the other side. So this tree can be viewed from all front, but this side is probably a better side to look at. So you can see the root spread out and fan out from the trunk better, although at this place it hit the pavement, so it go in a weird direction, but it's okay. You can basically ignore this part, and this root base is basically looking very good, floating out nicely and flow into the soil gracefully. So if you judge from the root base, so this side is in fact the front of the tree. So I'm going to back out and look at the tree from the front, although it may not be the easiest to view at this time because the sun is coming from the back of the tree. But I think this would be the front of this tree. I'm trying to back out and so that we can see the entire tree. Okay, here it is. I think this is the front, the very front of the tree. So the tree is slanting towards one side. From this view is slanting towards our right side. And immediately from the trunk, when it reached 6 foot tall, it bifurcates into a thicker branch or thicker trunk, and then a smaller branch, and then the smaller branch immediately bifurcate again. so it's not breaking the root of two branches. But although because it bifurcates so close, so it forms a little bit inverse taper, but it's not a big deal here. And the two smaller branch kind of form a lot of movement, and in the end it moved to the left side, and you can see a lot of movement and very different movement, and then it fan out, move as it grow up to maybe another 10 feet. It start moving horizontally. It grew up and grew horizontally and go maybe another 12 feet. Then the gravity start to drag the end of the branches downward. And on the right side, you can see this bigger branch or bigger trunk. Maybe it grew right and grew up for maybe another 6 feet, and then it bifurcate, and then one of the branches grew upward and ultimately formed the apex of the tree. The other go horizontal and then go down. After it go down, and then it grow up, and then slightly, and then it bifurcate. One of the branch further go outward, no branch hands down, but the other branch grow upward, but it's not competing with the apex. So you can see it's actually when the branch that the apex come from, actually before it formed the major apex on the top, maybe 12 feet before that, you can see it bifurcate. The other branch that didn't form the apex actually go back to the center of the tree. So it's not necessary every branch would fan out from the center. This branch grow back actually form the kind of fill out the space in the center. So there is not an empty space in the center. If we eliminate every branch that's growing towards the center, in the end you are going to get a hole in the center. And in nature, they never waste the space, because every space that's empty, there is sunshine that go into the tree, so there is energy there to be generated. So all these deciduous trees, they are extremely three-dimensional, and it basically would fill all the space within the canopy. So sometimes you would see a branch go out and then go back in, because it need to fill that space, because energy and food are in this space, so they need to fill it. So you cannot just they fan outward to grab more energy and more food, and when they further extend, they are going to get affected by gravity and hang downward. And in the, let's see, in near the top here, you can see branches hang downwards, so that in three-dimensional, the leaves cover every space within the canopy, and it's going to take the energy from all within the canopy. There's no empty space anywhere. And also the other characteristic of deciduous tree here is that you can see when the tree go from the main trunk and first time it bifurcate, this primary branch or the major trunk line, actually this primary branch is really thick compared to the main trunk. It's more than half the thickness. So these branches, primary branches, could be very thick in a deciduous tree. So it's not going to be that thick if you just think about a main trunk and then develop all these secondary, tertiary branches a long time later. You can see this trunk is more than a half of the secondary branch come out from the primary branch. It's more than half of the thickness. So it takes a lot of foresight to develop these. If you simply cut all these secondary branch out to develop a single trunk line and many years later let it bud back, it's not going to have this proportion. So really these tree, if you want to develop into bonsai, take a lot of foresight. You cannot develop the main trunk and then develop the branches 10 years later. It would be too thin. You could grow the branches a lot, but just be aware that the proportion, the branches that come out of the trunk is actually much thicker, could be a half or even more than a half the thickness where it has come out of. So this branch has this primary branch and then it bifurcates. One go up, one go horizontal, and even go downward. Has a lot of movement. It go left, right, and go down and go up, and then it go up again, and some of it go horizontal, and in the end it go up towards the light. And here when it the main trunk line where ultimately form the apex, when it go up and it a lot of branches, maybe now it's tertiary or even quaternary or even scenery branches, it start to go downward, so it fill all the space. It can bend down because of the gravity. These branches start to get thin enough and it hold enough weight, so the weight actually weigh it down. So these are very interesting trees. Okay, so I think these are a lot of comments. You don't have to listen to all these comments. You simply you can look at the image and make your own judgment to the tree. So this is in my opinion one of the most beautiful tree in the iconic liberal art quad in the University of Washington. And at this time it's not very crowded, so it's a very good time to view the tree, and also you can view the structure better. In the spring, when the cherry blossom is happening, it would be too many tourists, so all you can see is all the branches get covered by the white cherry blossom. You cannot see the branch structure, and also the tree are all surrounded by tourists, so it would be very difficult to study the branch structure of the tree. So I think this is one of the best time to study the structure of these trees. I hope you enjoy this video and hope you have a nice new year and happy 2020. And I hope that I will have more nice videos and grow better and better as a bonsai artist. also hope you enjoyed my videos. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.